Now, after the fires had killed hundreds in what many describe as a fireball of embers, the ferocity was so intense, everything in its path was incinerated. People living in Marysville say that there are at least 190 people unaccounted for. Survivors were interviewed on TV, and one man said that the roads were a death trap, adding that the locals were not allowed to clear fallen trees from the sides of the roads. They wasn't even allowed to pick up sticks for firewood. One man was fined $30,000 for cutting down the trees on his own property. He saw these as a hazard, and his home survived the inferno. People fleeing from the towns were caught and incinerated in their vehicles. The point is, what form of insanity would compel the authorities to impose such dangerous conditions unless they were influenced by a higher command? Now, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings because people have lost their loved ones. In fact, my two granddaughters were going to be staying at Flowerdale, but the angels interfered and prevented them from going out there, and they survived. Can you imagine it is possible for a dry, leafy street to escape the inferno? The heat charred everything, but look at the trees along the road. There's a burnt-out tree, smouldering, but as we look down the road, and in the area here, you see this is all dry leaves and dry trees. There's dry leaves over here, dry leaves up here. This hasn't been burnt. Down the street it hasn't been burnt. Now, how can a tree burn away and yet the green leaves above it? Is it a setup for the photographers? Green leaves. Dry wood. We see that when a fire of this intensity passes through a bush, nothing escapes it. These trees are about to be consumed. The fire is going away from them. This is a typical scene of a road around the backcountry. This leads to many properties and so forth. All those trees are totally incinerated. There's no trees down except for that one stick. But on the main road you've got this. That should be at least covered in sticks there. Now, above these cars here, there's a car that apparently has been crashed off the road, and this one is behind it. Like, if this car was coming in that direction, it wouldn't go around the back like that. These two here appear to be smacking into that, but in fact they're not. Now here, there's a post box, there's a house up the top, there's green leaves, this hasn't been touched, all this is green. What are they up to? This is an aerial view, and that's the trees up there that's all green, yet here it's been so hot that the engine blocks have melted. Now that car should not have stopped at the back of that. If anything, it should be out here somewhere. It's been arranged. What would cause them to stop side by side? It appears that they were arranged. Now here's three here. There's a little bit of debris there. There's very dry leaves there, green there. There's no way in the world, if this is a fire coming this direction, that that wouldn't be consumed. Yet that there itself would ignite that. They're parked side by side. It's as if they have ascended, been taken up. I had the same experience in 1978. Lifted bodily out of the danger and taken to heaven. So in this next carnage scene, the latitude tells us something. Now the distance from Parkside in Kinglake to my home is 38.6 kilometres, and that number is a resurrection from death, raised to life again. Well, that is going to happen to them, I can assure you. Now here's three cars parked side by side. The number plates aren't on the cars. It doesn't say that they weren't burnt off, but there certainly wasn't burnt off this one. That car's parked there. Now that may have been after the fire went through, but this one certainly wasn't. Or was it just dumped there? Where's the driver? So what caused the Toyota to hit the bank at high speed? Then the other cars burned out, parked neatly in a straight line. Which occurred first? Well, the Toyota would have to have come through first, and then the other three cars blocked the way. Now if the car was burning, at least one car was burning, would the next car park beside it? Even if it was thick smoke, you could certainly see a blazing car when you got close to it. So I can bring this up on my GPS software, and I know the area. So we go back to this one. No license plates. That door is open. It's a back door. Why wasn't the other door open? Why isn't that door open? You don't open the door and close it again when you're in a panic. Right now, where's the door? It's open there. It's not open there. We're arranging it. This next car, it's come down the roadway. There's no forest fire around at all except for a grass fire on the side of the road. Now, that there, okay, that's burnt out. Door open. That's not burnt. Green trees there. That's that insert there. That's that from there. This is all non-burnt. There's nothing on the road. What caused that car to come across here? Did something take him up? It's headed at high speed, so he just ran off the road at high speed. It's a clear open road. Green leaves. The driver has vanished. Okay. Was this driver blinded by the smoke? Very unlikely. It's only a grass fire. Now, it doesn't all blaze at the same time. It would burn its way along. So at the very most, if he was coming down here and there's smoke here, he would see it long in advance.